I'm Daz, and today on the bench is a mystery box that arrived, and I thought, oh, it's my birthday week, I wonder what it is. So I'll just get the box off the bench and show you what's inside. And there we go, one transistor radio. Thank you for Dave sending this to me. It's a 1963 Russian radio. I'll just get it out of its case if I can. It'll be a bit tight because everything tends to shrink with age, but there we go. It's a Convair S, and I notice it is on Radio Museum, and it says it's about 1963, so it's a Russian transistor radio. So just looking around it, there's a tuning control here, volume on off, I guess, standard sort of thing. Having a look round the back, that's where the long and medium wave switch is, and there's a screw there and a battery compartment, and I've got some spare parts, so there'll be a little bit of challenge to put that right. It says foreign on the back there, if I just get it in the light correctly. So looks like the screw was wax sealed, so let's have a look what we've got inside in a minute. Ah, that must be, I reckon that's a aerial coupling there, isn't it? So you can put an external aerial on. So here's our first look inside. PP3 connector, I assume. Connected to the speaker, so this must be the headphone jack, and there's a capacitor to this external aerial. That's where the wave change switch goes. The ferrite has moved. It's a nice square one, very nicely wound with separate, the windings kept separate, and I bet that increases the Q factor of the ferrite rod and gives it sensitivity. Two transformers. I'm pleased to say the laminations haven't come off. 1, 2, 3, 4 transistors there in sockets. So we've got 7 in total, so I'm just looking for the rest. So 4 there. 5, 6. Where's the 7th one? Am I being blind? Ah, look, it's underneath this piece of metal here. Lovely Russian transistors with a sort of flying saucer shape. Very, very nice. All original, the looks of it. There's a little test point there, that's interesting. I don't have a circuit diagram for this one at the moment. I haven't been successful in finding one, so be very careful that nothing falls off while I'm examining it. So the first thing I'm going to do is have a look at this long and medium wave switch and try and understand what's going on there. Well, that would be medium wave, that would be long wave, so it gives me an idea of where things should sit. So there we go. So these metal bits must go onto this plaxon maybe part, and then make contact with certain contacts depending on which position you're in. So I wonder where they should make contact. So the contacts presumably will switch or change over some of these contacts, but the question is, it depends on the radio. A lot of these long medium wave radios only have a 2-pole changeover, and I guess it just switches over the long and medium wave ferrite rod, and also perhaps adds padding to the local oscillator, but it depends. In this unit I can see there's 2 coils here, which makes me wonder whether perhaps it's got 2 separate local oscillators coils, so you'd want to possibly, and looking at the wires on them, you'd possibly be switching them. Possibly that they could have primaries and secondaries, so there may be a lot of switching points, but I guess using this as a basis, that's a changeover with the common in the middle there, so maybe that's how I should look at assembling it. Of course there's a similar set of contacts on the other side, presumably they're insulated, so yeah, it's difficult to say. I managed to find one photograph on the internet which gives me the opinion that these front ones are arranged like so, and I think the rear one, there should be 3, so there's changeover. Now I've only got one more, so what I might have to do is go without one, and if it's something like a pad and that, I'll just have to think what I could do about that. But that's what I think it goes like, but it is quite fiddly, so I certainly need another one of those, the looks of it. Right, well that's my educated guess on the back. It's a changeover, so that makes sense with the amount of contacts. Right, and obviously I'm missing a contact here, so there should be probably a contact there. That's what I'm guessing anyway. I found one picture on the internet which was not very high resolution, and I think there was 3 across here, so I might have to put a little link there just to simulate what should be there. I've been looking at the transistors and indeed the volume control, and I guess this is 1966, I guess. Right, I'm going to clip some power on. I think the long wave position is correct. I've got enough contacts to do that, so I think that's where I'll start from. Okay, so I've clipped on a current limited 9 volt 100 milliamp supply. Let's see.
Nathan Moore for BBC Radio York. Don't worry, he does have days.
I found I've got a switch mode power switched on in the workshop, but oh, quite a few stations. Nice bit of motorboating there. Okay, so that's independent of the volume control, so something going on in the audio amp, I guess, rather than anything to do with the AGC at the moment. So
if they have a really strong performance, then I think they'll find a positive with it.
right, so that is definitely needed, that contact there, the looks of it. That's a massive increase of sensitivity on medium wave, so well, yeah, this decoupling capacitor, I guess, has probably got a bad ESR. There's 9 volts across it, so that is probably the cause of part of the problem of the audio output stage oscillating. So it's looking like there's a screw here. There's like a threaded bolt here to come out, and that will probably, ah yes, I can just see another screw here by the wave change switch where I've put that little link in. So that should enable us to release it, and yeah, the jack socket just lifts out here. Of course the aerial have to be disconnected, this aerial socket, so that will enable me to take the board out. I've no idea about markings on Russian capacitors, so I've watched a few videos, but I've obviously not taken it in, of what's voltage and what's the capacitance, so it's something I'm going to have to learn. Well, the loudspeaker wires are white and red. Hope the wave change don't fall out. There we go. Here's the bottom and the string. So be careful with soldering near that, will be the obvious Well, this has got 15 MK and 10 B on it, so 15 microfarad at 10 volts maybe. Right, let's see what this says. 16 microfarad at 2.6 ohm. I think that ESR is a little bit on the high side for a 15 microfarad. I know it's not very high, but I'd expect it to be a bit lower than that. Here's a 22 microfarad capacitor. We'll just use this as a comparison and get the clip leads to hold on, which I can't seem to at the moment. There we go. Okay, yeah, the ESR is a bit lower. Not a lot lower though. Yeah, 20 microfarad, so it's quite accurate, but the ESR is still on the high side. Okay, one bit of good news is I just found this stuck to the speaker, so there we go, that's that problem solved. I've tacked a couple of capacitors underneath and disconnected the original ones, but as you can hear, that has not affected a cure. So perhaps I've got a joint problem, I don't know. So dodgy solder joint or something. But I know it's in the audio. You do tend to find other faults while you're at it. I've been looking for dry joints and there is definitely one there. You can see the meters going a bit crazy. So there's a problem with this track here, and I'm sure it might be a crack there, I'm not sure, but I might just put a wire in and bypass that. That'll eliminate one thing. The other thing I think I might have problems with is the IC sockets, the transistor sockets. Well, that seems to have completely eliminated the motorboating problem, so I'm wondering if I can put these capacitors back now. So this has really led me round the garden path. This is the positive rail, and that's what I've linked out here. Now I've got a feeling this positive rail possibly goes right round the board and connects elsewhere, but it was obviously enough, it was obviously dropping enough voltage, even if it was going around here, to cause a feedback problem, instability. So, but that's the link wires you can see here. It's funny, the IC sockets seem fine now. It's just so sensitive that bending anything on this part of the board was causing a problem, so it's very easy to end up with a break in the board, I guess, on a transistor radio. I do think there's some sort of coating on here because it was a little bit difficult to solder through it, some sort of conformal coating. On the evidence that this is getting Caroline really well, I don't think there's a lot to do. I think these are all IF. This one appears to be stuck, so I'm not going to fiddle with that. Just my little notes here from what I've worked out so far, which I just noticed are actually off screen, so let's bring them up. So I think these are the medium and long wave trimmers. That's the long wave local oscillator. That's the medium wave local oscillator. That is the medium wave oscillator high end and long wave oscillator high end. I believe these are all IF, I might be wrong. Audio transistors are all MN41s. This one in the can is an N401 8, I think. Is that a number? And these two appear to be N403. So that tends to make you think something different there, doesn't it? It make you think they're both the IF ones. But like I said, I haven't got a circuit diagram, so this is all a big guess. And just a little shot where the wafers are, just in case that's any interest to anyone. And if any are missing, do check the loudspeaker. So I noticed there's about 50 kilohertz error, so I think what I'm going to do is do a little trim of the local oscillator. I've done some repair to the plastic here. Just glued the bits back in. I think I can see why it had wax on there, because obviously this wave change switch, when you remove the back, it's very likely to fall out. So Looking at the scale on the front here, you've got 600 kilohertz marked and 1600, and there's nothing in between, so I don't know if there's any other marks, so I might be inclined to try and set the local oscillator at 600 and 1600 on the trimmers, the variable capacitors. Just see if I can move it in. It's showing just below 700 kilohertz and radio code line is 648, so it would suggest it's about 40-50 high. Hopefully it still tracks after I've done that. That's 600. One thing I've noticed is that the screw head isn't moving the preset very well, so something's obviously become detached there. Back to the oscillator coil again. And I'll go back up to 1600 again. I'll also twig up the medium wave trimmer. In this case I haven't actually done anything with the ferrite rod at 600 kilohertz. I just hope it's okay though. I don't really want to be breaking the seals, but I think these ferrite rods are very nice because you've got the multi-section on the windings, and I bet that helps the Q factor because it reduces the capacitance. Yeah, I do like these big square slabs. That's good. Everything appears to be where it should be now, so that's got that reading correct. I'm just going to twig the long wave one so radio 4 appears where it should do at 198 and leave it at that.
Points clear of Celtic.
Yep, I think that'll do for long wave. Got PP3 in. So. And slip it back in the case once I've given it a clean. Away we go. Well, there's the Convair S. Yes, so that was quite a bit of fun there because it looked like it was the capacitors and just decoupling that was causing it to motorboat, but in fact it was a broken track, which is a bit unusual, so a little bit different there on that one. But I'm not sure who made this radio. Perhaps it's Riga, perhaps, I'm not sure, but looks like 1966 from what we've seen inside. So thanks to Dave for that one. That's a little bit of an adventure, and this currently it's October the 31st. We've just put the clocks back, so it's rather dark tonight, so all the lights on in the workshop so I can see what I'm doing, even if I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.